Hi everyone. Today we're going to look at how to create worksheets in Microsoft PowerPoint and assign them to your students in Microsoft Teams. First, I'm going to show you how you can take an existing PDF worksheet, embed it into your PowerPoint, and allow students to fill in their answers. And then I'm going to show you how you could use PowerPoint to kind of design and create your own worksheets that you can assign to students and have them fill out. And of course, at the end, we'll look at how to assign it to the students in Teams and what it looks like on the student end. So first, let's look at, I just opened up a blank presentation in PowerPoint. So you can go ahead and you can take a look at that. And what we're going to do first is a lot of the work that we're going to do in order to design this template that students are going to fill out is going to be completed in what we call the slide master. So the first thing we're going to go over and look at in PowerPoint is if you go over to the View tab, we're going to click on Slide Master. And the Slide Master is essentially the template that the PowerPoint presentation file you have is using when you go to create a new slide. What we're going to do is our worksheet is going to be one of these templates. So one of the pages or each of the pages in your worksheet are going to be one of the layout options in your slide master. Now what I like to do is I just take this existing slide master, and since I'm only going to use this presentation for a worksheet, I just go through and I delete the templates that we don't need. Okay. And so this first one here, as you can probably hear, because it's being used right now, it doesn't let me delete it. And so this is the one I'm just going to use for us to start off. But you can go ahead and you can delete the other ones. If you leave them there, it's also no harm either. So you can do either one. What I like is just in case the students go and click to add another one, they wouldn't see these other options here. Then what I go through and do is I just select all of these boxes that pre-existed, and I'm going to delete them. I want us to start off with just a blank page. And so next, what you're probably thinking to yourself is, that's cool, Joe, you're looking at using PowerPoint for worksheets, but I'm not really sure how my existing worksheet's going to work with this when it's not the size of a normal PowerPoint slide. So the first thing we're going to do, especially for when we're taking an existing PDF worksheet, is we're going to change the size of the slide. So if you go up top here, I'm still in the slide master area. We're going to change the size of the slide. And if you're designing your own worksheets, you can choose whatever size you want. Maybe you want to keep it this original PowerPoint size. But for an existing worksheet, it will work best if we go and we create a custom size. And if it's a typical PDF worksheet, it's going to be the size of a typical piece of paper, which is 8.5 by 11 inches. So for the width, we're going to change this to 8.5 inches. And we're going to set the height to be 11 inches. And now that this is all set, once you click OK, and this doesn't matter because we don't have anything on the slide, but we'll just say maximize. You'll notice that we're now set, and we have our slide that is now the size of a piece of paper, most likely the size of your worksheet that you want to put in here. Now, in order to set this worksheet up, we need to go over, and so I have an existing PDF worksheet, and you can just use whatever PDF worksheet you have. This one I'm using as an example is from code.org's curriculum. And so we can take this worksheet, and instead of me having to redesign this completely for students, now I can just put it into PowerPoint. I can add some areas for the students to type in, and it saves me a lot of work. So I'm going to go over, and what we need to do with this PDF is we need to convert it into an image. And so once it's an image, then we can put it inside of PowerPoint. So a website I like to use for this is called PDF Candy, and you may find this website to be very useful for you. It can take PDF files as well as other files and convert them in all kinds of types. For instance, we're going to use a PDF and we're going to convert it to a JPG, which is an image file. I put a link to this website down in the description, so feel free to go down there and check it out, or get to this website very easily, but it's pdfcandy.com. So we're going to click on PDF to JPG. And now we can add a file here. And so I'm going to add the existing PDF file that I have on my computer. So you just navigate to the file that you want to convert and have in your presentation. It's going to give you a little preview here so you know you selected the right one. I would leave it as high quality because we don't want it to look blurry or anything like that. And you're going to click on Convert PDF. It's going to take a couple minutes depending on how many pages. This only has 2 pages. And it's going to convert it. And then you can go ahead and you can just download that file to your computer. It's going to save as a zip file or a zip folder. Okay, so when we do that, we're going to need to extract the content of that. If you are on Windows, you can just either right-click and say extract, or when you click on a zip file, this menu up top will show where you can say extract all. Other operating systems may look a little bit different. If you need to, just search for a YouTube video on how to, extract a PDF on your operating system if you're not sure. I'm going to click extract all here. I actually have a program called 8-Zip installed on the computer, so that's what was actually just used to extract it. And then if I go in here, I'll notice that there are image files for each of the pages of my PDF worksheet. So if I just open this, it's just going to open in the normal picture program, and notice it's an image file now. So just know the location of that. Those files, I'm just going to drag these 2 images right into my downloads area. So I know where they are. The folder's also there, but then now they're directly there for me. And I'm going to go back over to our PowerPoint. So I've extracted those image files there, and now I can navigate back over to my PowerPoint presentation to add it in. Now what we're going to do with this image that was created from the PDF is it's going to serve as the background for this PowerPoint presentation. Now, the reason why we want to make this the background is then students can't edit, move it, etc. And that's another reason why we're using the Slide Master. When we use the Slide Master, the students on the normal slide cannot edit that. The way it moves, looks, interacts, how they interact with it, etc. So all you need to do is right-click on the slide, Format Background, and we can come over here to this sidebar and we can select Picture or Texture Fill. We want to add a picture. So I'm going to say Insert. I'm going to browse for a file on my computer. I'm going to go to my downloads where I stored these. And I want the first page of my worksheet first. So that's the number 1. So I have number 1 and number 2 of the PDF file. Say number 1, and I've selected that now. And now I have this as my background. And so now this worksheet is there. If I exit the Slide Master view, so I just click the exit it, you'll notice the slide now looks like that. Notice that students cannot mess around with this image. It just displays there. And so the next thing that we want to do with this is we want to make it so students can actually type on this. So how you do that is if we go back into the Slide Master, you can add text boxes, just like if you think of any of the other templates we just saw in PowerPoint and used, and we can add what we call a placeholder. And placeholders are text boxes that just allow the user or the student in this case to click and they can type something. And we can design that text box to look the way we want and be bold, underlined, the text size we want, etc. All right, so now we're going to go back up to View. And we're going to reopen Slide Master. So remember, Slide Master is under the View tab. And so now we're back on our worksheet here. And what we can do, and of course we can zoom in if we need to, so we can work a little bit closer. And let's say, of course we could add boxes for their name, the period. So it all depends on what you want to do and what you want your students to fill out. But let's just say I want to add some boxes here for students to type in some responses. So I'm going to go over and you'll notice this section here called Placeholders. And so placeholders are those in the templates when you see the little area for you to automatically insert a picture or some text. That's what those are. So I'm just going to use a text one. And then it lets you draw it in the spot you want. So I'm just going to put a placeholder here. You may notice it's going to add all of this, as the default, but we can get rid of that. We can make this look as we want. So we don't want them to start off with a bullet. Instead, we want to say something like click to add answer. Okay, that's what I like to put into the placeholder. Click here to add the answer. And then, of course, you can change the size. So I can just go to home here if that's what you're used to, or when you highlight text, that little pop-up appears. But I can go down and I can edit this to be a size that's more appropriate for typing in this area. So size 12 point font. Now that's there. What we can do too to make this really easy for us, instead of drawing it, resizing everything, is I'm going to reuse this now a couple times, 5 more times. So I'm just going to hit copy, and I'm going to use Control V to paste. And then you can just line these up where you want. And then, of course, you can continue. I'm not going to take the time to add each of these, but that's essentially what you do. Is in the Slide Master, you insert a placeholder, you make the text the way you want it to come out for the students, as well as any words that appear here is the preview text that is displayed to the students. For example, if I close the Slide Master now, you'll notice you may need to, after you're done designing it, I'm going to go over and I'm going to add this. So you notice when I clicked new slide, here it is here. So this is using the old one. So here's the new one with the click to add answer. So I can just delete this now. And then this is exactly what the students will see. And they can click in there and notice how that text goes away and they can type their answer. And if they don't type anything, it still says that. So this not only gives you a preview of the size and the appearance of the text, but also it gives the students some kind of prompt on what needs to be done in this text box. So you have that there. Now you may be wondering, well, I have multiple pages. So it's exactly the same process. You're going to go into the Slide Master for your other page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a layout, just add another layout here. Again, you can go through, it re-added these after I deleted them. So you could just edit one of those. But I'm going to go through and, let's zoom out a little bit so we can see this fully. And I'm just going to remove anything that we don't want. I'm just hitting the delete key on the keyboard to delete them after I highlight them. And let's add this, the second page of our worksheet. So I'm going to right click, format background. It was up already over here, but it's good to remind you where that's located. Click picture, insert a picture from a file on my computer, page number 2, and there it is there. And then, of course, if you want the students to be able to write their responses in and you want to create an area for that, you go over to insert a placeholder. This one's just going to be a normal text one. I'm going to draw my box, and then I'm going to edit the size of it. So again, I like to do some text here, and I'm going to make it 12 point font, and I'll say click to add answer. Now, something some people like to do too is maybe you want their answers to be a different color. So of course you can change the color. Also, maybe we want to make it blue. So now they type in blue. Other things people like to do is maybe you want this to appear more as a box and not have, and actually have the border show up. So you can do that too. You can just click on this. You're going to go up to shape format. And then right here, you can format the actual shape. So we can go over and we can say, give it a black outline. Notice now it's a black outlined box. Some people even like to do a fill with just a light gray so you can see that area more defined. So those are some options. You have lots of design options for the way you want that to look. Let's close the Slide Master now. And so in this presentation, in order for my students to also work on page number 2 of this worksheet, I got to go over, I'm going to say new slide, and I have my page number 2 shows up in my layouts, and there it is. You'll notice the box appears, they click in it, and they can type their answer. This is my answer. Notice it's coming out in blue, just like we identified. So all of those little details that we've designed it show up really nice. So with these same ideas, without creating, adding the PDF as a background, you could design your own worksheets also. So let's just go back into Slide Master quick. And let's say we wanted to design our own worksheet. I'm just going to add another layout. I'm going to delete these. If we wanted to add our own worksheet, we can do anything we want with the design of using PowerPoint to do that. For instance, let's say I want to add some text. I'm going to go over to Insert. I'm going to insert a text box. Now, if you insert a text box this way, the students will not be able to edit this text. So this is what you want to do for your prompts for them. So, we can say something like, I'm just making up stuff on the fly. In the box below, tell me about yourself. Maybe this is for the beginning of the school year. And so this would not be editable. Students won't be able to edit that. And then, of course, when we want them to be able to edit and add text, we can go over and we want to insert a placeholder. Placeholders are the things that students can edit. Text in the worksheet. I'm going to add this placeholder here, and we'll do that. And we can design the way we want this to look. I'm gonna make this an actual box. I'll do similar to what I did before. And we can make the text a certain color. I'm going to make it blue again. Whatever, however you want it to be designed. And so I can say something like, click to add answer. And notice because I clicked out of that before I set actual text, it kind of went back. So 12-point, blue, perfect. Now let's go back. And so you can design this again. You can make custom backgrounds. You can add shapes, images, all that stuff. You want to put that in there. Students won't be able to edit it. The only thing they'll be able to do is type inside of the placeholder. So I'll just add an image for the heck of it just to show you something here. So let's go to Insert and let's say picture. And we'll just use a stock image. Let's see what shows up. We'll add these lemons here. Insert. And if I put this just down here, notice I can move it around in the Slide Master. Let's go over to the actual slide. So I'm going to close the Slide Master now. Let's add this worksheet page that I just created. I'm going to move my image over here. So I'm going to new. Here's the one I just created of my own custom worksheet. Notice can't move this image. I'm dragging on it. Doesn't move, so students won't be able to move this. Same thing, this text here. Can't move it, can't edit it. Only the placeholders they can click and edit. So click in there and they can type their answer. I love teaching. Whatever you want them to say. I'm going to remove this just because we're going to see what it looks like in Teams in a minute. So let me save this presentation. Let's add it as an assignment in Teams, and I can show you what the students see just so I can prove to you that it does work well and you'll be ready for your classroom. So let's go to save. I haven't saved this anywhere. I'm just going to save this in my downloads folder. I'm going to call it presentation 1. Obviously, this is just for demonstration purposes. So now I have this presentation 1 saved. Let's go over to Teams. You have your class. And the important thing that you need to do is you need to use this assignments tab. So a lot of the questions I see out there is people are trying to do assignments. They're trying to share files with students, and they're wondering why students don't get their own copy to edit and you be able to review. You have to use this assignments tab to do that. And so while you go to the assignments tab, we want to create a new assignment. Title the assignment whatever you want. I'm just going to say this is a PowerPoint worksheet example. You title your assignment whatever it is. This is the title students will see. If you have any additional instructions, you can do that. For instance, I like to say, open the PowerPoint worksheet attached and completed. and complete it. Whatever, or some instructions just so they know. You can add your point values. You can do all the stuff that you'd want to do, your due dates, stuff like that. But the important thing is you go to add resource now. This is how you can distribute a file to students. I'm going to upload from my device because I have this saved on my device. In my downloads folder, and I have this presentation 1. So I'm going to go there, open. It's uploading that. It's going to place it in as a resource for this. And the very, very important step is to go all the way at the end. Notice it says students can't edit. So you can upload things as resources where students just view the file. This is great for instructions, pages, that you just want them to view as resources as part of this assignment. But you click these 3 dots. We want to change this so students edit their own copy. Each student will get their own copy of this PowerPoint file, and they'll be able to edit it and complete the worksheet. Students edit their own copy. I'm going to click Assign. It assigns to the students. You should get the little notification when it's all set and assigned, but let's go over to my student account, example account, and check out how this worked. So here's my example student. There's the notification for the assignment just assigned. Here it is in their stream, in their posts. I'm going to go over to assignments now. This is the student account, their view. They have one assignment, PowerPoint worksheet example. Open the PowerPoint worksheet attached and complete it. They click on it. They see the 3 pages they need to complete. They can't edit any of this worksheet. All they can do is click and answer. If they need to zoom in, bottom right-hand corner here to zoom in so they can see it a little bit bigger. So just remind students they can go down there. Again, can't edit anything. Only thing to watch out for is this file, this PDF did have links. Notice those links aren't live because we converted it to an image. If that's important to you, find out some ways you can put a box here maybe instead and put the links as part of PowerPoint. But I can click in here and they can type, okay, in this box. And same thing on these other pages. Look, I can type, but they can't edit anything else. Down here, same thing, can't move this image, can't move my text for instructions, but they can add text to answer the question. Okay? So there you go. That's how you can create your own worksheets using a PowerPoint. Students can add their responses without being able to edit your file and mess around with everything. This is so much better than just, creating something in Word or something like that and students accidentally delete things on you, etc. I see this working a lot better for younger grades, again, because they can't edit things. The boxes are there already. So it works really good. So thank you for watching. Let me know if you need anything, just leave me a comment down below and let me know if you have other topics you'd like me to cover. Just leave me a comment and I'll check it out and I'll add it to my list. And don't forget to click that subscribe button below so you can check out more videos from me in the future. Have a great day.